Right now we're on our way to downtown Los Angeles to check out filming locations for a music video by a group whose music changed my life, and for a music video that I had no idea was even filmed in California. So, let's go see what we can find. This is something that I'm pretty sure I've talked about at least a couple of different times in other videos. I was really lucky to grow up in the 80s and 90s listening to all kinds of different music. And this is something that stuck with me in my adulthood, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And when I was really young, like 5 or 6, I listened to the pop music that was on the radio and on the top 40 shows on TV. I loved Prince and Michael Jackson. I was obsessed with Michael Jackson when I was a kid. The first couple of cassettes that I remember owning is Michael Jackson's Thriller, Prince Purple Rain, Culture Club Color by Numbers, and I also had a 45 of Hall & Oates Maneater. Now when I was around 13 years old, that's when I discovered alternative music. And then by the time I was 15, I was all about punk. When I was about 7 years old, my family moved from North Hollywood to Reseda, and for whatever reason, we weren't able to keep the same TV setup, and my parents were forced to get cable TV. And with cable TV came MTV, and I was so excited. I had never actually seen MTV, but I had heard about it, and soon I was watching it all the time. And so one night while watching MTV, this music video came on that had me mesmerized. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. And when it was over, I went into the kitchen where my parents were making dinner, and I was like, "You've got to get me this tape, please. I need this tape." And lucky for me, my parents were cool enough to get it for me for Christmas. They actually got one copy for me and one copy for my brother because the tape was released in 2 different colors. And that tape was Raising Hell. The music video that I saw was Walk This Way, and the group was Run DMC. Shortly after that, my brother started bringing home cassette tapes that he was getting from school, and he was bringing home the Fat Boys and LL Cool J and Boogie Down Productions and Eric B. and Rakim, and we were hooked. And it all started with Run DMC. Now there's another Run DMC video that MTV would play, not as much as Walk This Way, but they did play it, and that was for the song It's Tricky.
This speech is my recital. I think it's very...
And that video featured Penn and Teller, and I remember really liking that music video because I loved Run DMC and I loved Penn and Teller, so to have them together in a music video was awesome. I never really paid attention. I always just assumed that that video was filmed in New York because Run DMC's from New York. But recently I was watching it and I noticed that the whole thing takes place in front of the Rialto Theater, and as I watched further, I thought that I recognized the buildings across the street. So I looked into it and I found that it was in fact filmed right here in downtown Los Angeles. It was actually filmed right around the corner, and right now we're gonna go check it out. All right, here we go. Broadway and 8th Street, and the spot should be right here around the corner. There it is. This is it right here. This is where Run DMC and Penn and Teller stood and made that video. And right now we're gonna match up all the shots. So in the music video, you can clearly see the address of this building. You can see 808 right here. Now it's still here, but it's been moved down next to the door. So at this point, she calls Run to ask him for help, and we find out that Run and DMC just hang out all day in a fur-lined helicopter that's piloted by Jam Master Jay. There's no way he's gonna be able to take off with all that fog, but apparently he was able to take off, and he flies Run and DMC into the city to save the day. This is it. This is the very spot where Run, DMC, Jam Master Jay, and Penn and Teller were all lined up and dancing. How cool is this? I was so happy to see that this location was still recognizable, even though none of the businesses were the same anymore, and the Rialto Theater is now an Urban Outfitters clothing store. But at least the marquee and the Rialto sign are still there. So that's gonna do it for this video. Another short one, but for me, a very exciting one. I was really excited to get down here and match up those shots from a legendary video by a legendary group. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.